Chapter 4. The King's Dream.
Ah, it's you, the boy from my dream. What a strange dream it was. My life's work was being destroyed, and all I could do was watch.
Come, sit here by the fire.
It all began right there, in the house I grew up in. I heard a heavy knocking at the door, just like on the night I left. I opened the door, but there was nothing there, just white space.
Now, the King's Dream is when things get a little bit surreal. Sorry.
Outside, disaster. Some miscreant had painted everything. My garden was ruined.
I should note, anyone who's been paying, or who watched the series in order will know that these paint marks, largely nothing to do with where you actually splattered paint.
And then my statue spoke and said, "Help me! Some little hooligan is running around splattering everything in the garden. I think he's headed for the... Something got in my mouth. Oh dear. I saw my unfinished labyrinth, abandoned and forgotten. And then the credits appeared.
Your dreams have credits?
Oh yes, and subtitles.
I don't know if people would want me to read these credits, but I'm not going to because that feels weird.
And then I saw my beautiful city strangled by those disgusting vines. I built it to stand 100 lifetimes, and instead it'll be buried in one, a monument for weeds.
Well, so you want to talk about a literal topsy-turvy world?
The dining hall was full of people, like the old days. It smelled like roasted goose. For a moment, I was happy. Then suddenly, I was alone again. The world had become cold and dark. I felt my own death rising up around me. I floated past chunks of the house I built, or started building. Scarcely 10 years later, and the whole thing was in ruins. My works were meant to last forever, but most of them will be gone before I am. I was at a funeral. My own, as it turned out. No one was there. Except you. I saw my monument, my last hope of leaving something that would live on after me. And I I began to walk towards it, and with each step I took, I got larger. I just kept growing and growing, like a teenager. With a gentle push, my mind crumbled and sank. I saw my life's work laid out in front of me. Soon it would crumble into dust, or be painted over by someone who would come after me, the same way I painted over what was here before me. When the universe ended, I knew that everything I'd made was over. And as I sat there, looking out into the darkness, I thought back on all the things I'd built and left unfinished. I realized something. I wasn't sad that it was all gone. I had fun making all that stuff. I would have done it anyway. And then, somehow I knew that when I woke up, all my work really would be destroyed. And that's when you showed up. I don't know how you got here, but I'm glad to see you. I have something for you. This brush isn't mine anymore. My work is over. It belongs to you now. I hope it makes you happy, and that someday they will say, he is a better man than his father. That door will take you anywhere you want to go. But leave quickly, child. None of this will last for long.
And that night, even though he was very tired, Monroe did something that would have made his mother very happy. He painted.
And that being largely a playable cutscene was the final chapter of the unfinished Swan. Now, while I have no interest in arbitrarily extending the video, I do wish to give some points on it. Mainly that this is a game I decided to share because, one, I think it's absolutely adorable. And two, I feel like games like this should exist. And I'm gonna load up some gameplay thing real quick, just to have something to do with my hands while I'm talking. This is just a playable demo for the game, basically, that they decided to include as a post-game reward. What was it? Oh yeah, however, what I mean when I say I want more games like this is that I want more games with a very similar tone to the unfinished Swan. In the sense that it was something I want to see more in games, where the gameplay was used as part of the storytelling medium rather than a delivery device for it. Let's look at an entire genre of games known for being story-driven with RPGs. Most RPGs, their gameplay mechanics aren't really there to serve the game at all. They're just there to be a delivery device for the game and its story. Well, the unfinished Swan... Whoa. Please wake up. Well, the unfinished Swan... Its gameplay, as you can tell by the way it changes every chapter and even halfway through most of the chapters. Say chapter 1 is the only one that doesn't really change during. But with a design based more around the gameplay, or with gameplay design more around the story, especially a story as absolutely adorable as the... Okay. I'm not the only one who saw that. Especially with a game whose story is as absolutely adorable as this one. It would be interesting for me to see what another developer could do with this kind of story gameplay integration. Now, I understand that there's definitely a reason for story and gameplay to be segregated. I'm not saying that story gameplay segregation should go away. There are entire genres that I feel like would probably perish if that was the case. I feel like puzzle games, for example, would be very difficult to make. Or perhaps even the RPG genre would be massively changed. Or this new wave action RPG stuff would be more heavily integrated, which I'm not entirely sure if that's a better alternative or not. But in another way that I want there to be more games like The Unfinished Swan is that it's a wonderful example of when people talk about games being art. And some people get really weird when you say that, and don't entirely get it. But ooh, can push those over. Huh. Okay. I didn't know that. But I do believe that The Unfinished Swan proves that game as art isn't as weirdly taboo as some people would make it out to be. I don't know, maybe that's just 4chan being 4chan, I'm not sure. But no, actually, I'm not so sure if that would really be a 4chan thing. Or not. Either way, this tech demo is way bigger than I thought it was. I'm gonna be honest. But I don't know, I'm also kind of tying this in as sort of a retrospective to the game. Because I said I want to do more retrospectives for games after I beat them. For reference, the reason I'm not sure if I want to do one for Devil May Cry 4 until I've cleared the other two story modes. So also, yeah, I do want more games about just painting in a white space and discovering stuff based off of what you, based on what your paint hits. I just think that's a cool delivery method for a game. Even ignoring my previous story gameplay integration speech from earlier. Holy crap. I should have made this prototype thing its own episode, looking back. Because, goddamn, this is actually kind of an amazing space to explore, not gonna lie. Anyways, if I had people in the stream right now, this is probably the place where I would have put up a Q&A, but there aren't because my streams are kind of early in the morning these past couple days. Well, okay, no. This stream is early in the morning compared to the past couple days. Don't be afraid, it says. Huh. Could be down here then. Holy shit. Now I see why it said don't be afraid. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm going back to my previous notion that this should have been a separate episode. If I knew that this would be so big... Okay, weird floating ball I can't interact with. Alright. Yeah, if I knew that this prototype thing was as big as it was, I not even sure if I would have played it. I might have even gone, hey, get the game and play this area yourself. It's really fucking cool. Okay. So, dear anyone who's for some weird reason starting on this episode, this has nothing to do with what's in the actual game. My balls are white? What? This bonus stage gets better and better, holy shit. Don't be afraid. Whoa, that was cool. Anyways, it does come with concept art as well. That's pretty neat. The concept art is just kind of something cool. It's not anything new. And the toys are pretty cool too. Anyways, that, everyone, was the unfinished Swan. I hope other people are able to play this game and enjoy it the way I did. And I will see everyone whenever oh god, whenever I stop dying.